Inside this ant, a series of chemical signals is forcing its body to march forward and climb, taking control while the host is still alive. We recognize fungi as mushrooms on the forest floor, or the mold appearing on stale bread. These visible growths are only small components of a much larger biological web that exists permanently beneath the surface. This network navigates the world by manufacturing specialized molecules designed to interact with and manipulate the biological processes of other organisms. Tracing these molecular interactions reveals how fungi manage complex systems of communication and control that are often invisible to the naked eye. This is an ant infected by Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. You can see the fungal stalk erupting from the exoskeleton, the final stage of a process that began inside the ant's own tissues. The fungal network threads directly into the ant's muscle fibers, completely bypassing the brain. Leaving the nervous system intact, it seizes mechanical control, forcing a permanent death grip high on a leaf to maximize the spread of its spores. This same mechanical hijacking appears in the human record. This image shows ergot, a fungus that replaces healthy grain kernels with dark, toxic growths. When humans consumed this grain in the Middle Ages, ergot alkaloids triggered widespread hallucinations and seizures. The neurological symptoms were so intense they were recorded as the Plague St. Anthony's Fire. Fungi use custom-built alkaloids to direct the movement of insects and alter the consciousness of mammals. This is the remains of Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, an environment saturated with lethal levels of ionizing radiation. Inside the highly radioactive ruins of this core, researchers found the fungus Cryptococcus neosnoens growing directly on the reactor walls. These organisms use a process called radiosynthesis. They employ the dark pigment melanin to convert harmful gamma radiation into chemical energy. As this diagram illustrates, the melanin molecules capture high-frequency radiation and trigger an energy transfer that produces ATP, the fuel cells use to grow. Fungi are capable of thriving in environments that are toxic to almost all other forms of life by using radiation as a primary food source. Other fungal compounds, like psilocybin, are capable of directly interacting with mammalian brain chemistry. This graphic compares psilocybin to a serotonin receptor. This molecule likely evolved as a defense to overwhelm the nervous systems of grazing insects, but its structure allows it to bind perfectly to mammalian receptors. In the human brain, this interaction promotes rapid neuroplasticity. Clinical studies show it can induce a sustained antidepressant effect by physically changing how neural pathways communicate. These chemical interactions also occur at a massive scale. Within this forest, a subterranean fungal network connects these individual trees together. These underground threads plug into roots to trade nutrients. They even transmit warning signals, allowing distant trees to prepare defenses against incoming insect attacks. Fungal chemistry acts as a connective medium, capable of altering individual consciousness and synchronizing entire ecosystems. Scientists are now looking at these fungal systems as a template for new technologies. Research is underway to use radiotrophic fungi to grow self-regenerating shields that could protect astronauts from radiation during long-term space travel. In medicine, the same molecules that disrupt insect movement are being refined to treat severe depression, where traditional pharmaceuticals have reached their limit. This is a continuation of a much older partnership. 470 million years ago, it was these fungal networks that allowed the first plants to migrate onto barren land. We live in a world defined by these chemical exchanges. Learning to speak this molecular language may be our way to navigate future environments.